Listen carefully, open your heart, your spirit, and your mind, because this message reveals what the enemy has been doing without your knowledge. It explains why you feel tired for no reason, why thoughts scatter, why confidence drops, why your head feels heavy after certain dreams, and why progress halts when you start rising. Today, the truth will set you free. When you wash your hair with sea salt and rosemary water, every attack targeting your crown will break instantly. This is your awakening, and your freedom begins now. When humans were created, a unique spiritual signature was placed on the head, the seat of wisdom, the place of thought, and the gateway for inspiration. This is why the enemy attacks the crown intensely, knowing that controlling the head means controlling life. Many experience cycles of confusion, slow progress, and strange setbacks because their crown has been tampered with spiritually. Hair connects directly to the head, becoming a spiritual antenna for both positive and negative influences. Washing hair with intention, faith, and divine ingredients is a powerful way to reclaim spiritual identity and restore destiny. Hair carries glory, which attracts both admiration and envy. In the spiritual world, hair symbolizes strength, protection, and divine identity. In ancient times, when someone's glory was under attack, the first signs appeared in hair through shedding, breakage, dryness, heaviness, or changes in texture. Physical signs often reveal spiritual operations taking place. When hair behaves unnaturally, it shows the enemy is trying to weaken confidence, dull the mind, or block intuition. Washing hair with the right spiritual mixture cleanses physical strands and breaks chains, holding glory down. Salt is a mysterious spiritual tool from God, carrying authority to purify, separate, and destroy contamination. When it touches spiritually polluted areas, it neutralizes and severs evil attachments. Salt has been used for centuries as a divine weapon, sprinkled, dissolved, or applied. Sea salt on hair immediately begins to remove negative energy. Witchcraft residue and manipulations tied to the crown, attacking spiritual dirt, clouding the mind and dulling sensitivity. Sea salt does not negotiate with darkness, it destroys it. Those who dream of someone touching or cutting their hair carry hidden spiritual burdens on their crown, showing as heavy thoughts, sudden sadness, emotional instability, or foggy thinking. Sea salt cleans these burdens, creating a spiritual shield around the head and pushing back attacks entering through the hair. This is not just a wash, but spiritual separation from forces trying to influence decisions or steal peace. Salt alone is not enough. Rosemary has been used for centuries as a symbol of memory, clarity, and restoring destiny. It speaks to the mind, memory, and spiritual map. When the enemy wants to derail someone, they attack clarity, because a confused mind cannot pray, plan, or discern. Rosemary water restores what confusion steals by sharpening vision and calming mental storms. Combined with salt, it counters every spiritual attack targeting the head. Many do not know rosemary also breaks monitoring spirits, those watching your progress, tracking you, and trying to block your rise. When rosemary touches the crown, it blinds every watcher assigned to your life. Some feel peace flowing through their minds immediately after washing with rosemary water. The mind becomes lighter, calmer, and spiritually alert. When hair is spiritually clean, the spirit wakes spiritually. Salt and rosemary together form a divine partnership. One removes evil, the other restores clarity. One destroys witchcraft attachments, the other rebuilds mental strength. Washing with this combination closes every satanic projection while opening a window to divine wisdom. The moment it touches the head, Every attack on glory begins to break. Some wake spiritually drained despite sleeping, with heavy heads and scattered thoughts. This shows something has been projected into the head gate. Rosemary restores the mind, breaking patterns of manipulation and severing invisible threads around thoughts, confidence, memory, and direction. Many spiritual attacks appear first as forgetfulness, inability to focus, scattered thoughts during prayer, or failure to plan. This is not always psychological, but often spiritual fog. The enemy paralyzes mentally when physical attacks fail. Rosemary water awakens memory and restores clear thinking. Confusion is another weapon, causing wrong steps, misplaced trust, and missed opportunities. Rosemary brings order and mental cleansing, untangling spiritual knots, leaving thought processes peaceful and steady. Spiritual heaviness shows as waking tired, pressure on the head, sudden sadness, or emotional overwhelm. These signs indicate attachments on the hair, but salt removes them and rosemary restores lightness. Unexplained. Hair loss signals an attack on glory. This wash strengthens spiritual roots and breaks hands assigned to the hair. Dreams of someone cutting or touching hair represent attempts to steal glory or weaken confidence. Cleansing severs every spiritual hand touching the head and reverses negative energy entering through dreams. Hair holds memory, identity, and spiritual history, which is why witches target it. Washing today removes access for monitoring spirits, breaks every evil link, dissolves spells, and scatters chains around thoughts. Sea salt is a spiritual purifier with authority. Dissolved, it attacks witchcraft contamination at the root, neutralizing projections from jealousy or surveillance. The enemy fears salt because it breaks covenants and attachments. Pouring salt-infused water on the hair declares war on invisible hands touching the crown. Witchcraft often shows as confusion, dizziness, mood swings, or emotional instability caused by crown contamination. Sea salt cleans both outwardly and inwardly, breaking pressure and lifting heaviness from the scalp. Rosemary strengthens spiritual roots, restores mental clarity, and repairs the mind's spiritual pathways. Together, they remove evil influence, repair spiritual damage, and free the mind to function with focus, strength, and spiritual lightness. This simple, natural wash becomes a powerful act of reclaiming identity, lifting burdens, and restoring life. Every strand becomes a channel of clarity, every thought aligns with purpose, and every blockage dissolves. Your head, your crown, your mind, and your destiny open fully to divine restoration. This is not superstition, it is a spiritual tool handed down for generations, restoring freedom to those whose crowns have been hidden, manipulated, or attacked. Sea salt and rosemary water reconnect you to your divine design, cleanse your head, and release every spiritual chain preventing progress, lifting heaviness and clearing the mind. After washing, the head is light, the thoughts clear, the spirit awakened, and the path forward open. Every invisible attack, every monitoring spirit, every curse tied to the crown is broken. This is a restoration of glory, mind, and destiny through a simple, natural, and powerful spiritual act. When you pour the mixture on your hair, every hand, every curse, every attack that has held you back begins to dissolve immediately. Clarity returns, energy lifts, peace fills the mind, and freedom flows through every thought. Your crown is restored, your head is light, and your life moves forward unhindered. Spiritual heaviness, confusion, attacks in dreams, lost memory, blocked progress, all dissolve with the simple, powerful combination of sea salt and rosemary water. Your spiritual identity is recovered, your mind is clear, and your destiny is free to unfold. Every strand carries light, every thought aligns with purpose, and every attack dissolves. This is your crown, your freedom, and your awakening. Confidence, identity, and clarity grow stronger when your thoughts realign with God's purpose, and when the door to dark whispers is closed. Washing your hair becomes a form of spiritual gate cleansing, because the head is one of the 7 gates of a human being. And this is often where spiritual attacks begin. Yet salt and rosemary clear away negative energy, reset the gate, clear the path, remove spiritual residue, and restore divine calm. Many people live with spiritual weight on their hair without even knowing it, feeling irritated, mentally blocked, moody, or tired because something is spiritually sitting on their crown. But salt breaks this, and rosemary renews the mind, leaving you feeling light, awake, and spiritually open. This cleansing also breaks every harmful word spoken against your purpose. Since spoken words search for a place to rest, they sit on the head, yet salt dissolves negative words, and rosemary repairs the confidence damaged by hostile speech. This mixture also shields your head from future attacks. Salt forms a barrier that dark forces cannot penetrate, and rosemary keeps the mind alert, creating a border that darkness cannot pass. There comes a moment when a person must ask why their mind feels drained, why their thoughts feel heavy, or why their confidence has been sinking. That is when they realize the battle has been focused on their crown, and when they understand their hair is not just hair, but a spiritual antenna. Something awakens inside them, showing them that confusion was not weakness, exhaustion was not laziness, and sadness was not random. They were under spiritual pressure, but now they awaken. As you prepare to wash your hair, something shifts even before the water touches your head, because your spirit rises, your mind clears, and your heart feels release. Understanding is always the first step to deliverance, and the enemy thrives where people remain unaware, but truth always breaks darkness. Then comes the realization that your glory is not ordinary, and that your struggles were not random because your head was targeted due to your strong destiny and bright calling. Only those chosen for something greater face attacks at the crown. This helps you respect yourself and understand that God guided you here with intention. As you reflect on your strange dreams, setbacks, mental fog, emotional battles, and unexplained heaviness, you begin to see the connection and understand why your progress felt paused and your clarity seemed dimmed. You realize the battle has been over your head, but today begins your reversal, your restoration, and your awakening. As you prepare the mixture, remember that this is not just cleansing but spiritual activation. When salt dissolves, spiritual warfare begins, carrying divine judgment and breaking chains connected to your crown. You must boldly declare that every form of witchcraft influence is breaking and every monitoring spirit is losing access. The moment water touches your scalp, every hidden enemy scatters because the salt burns spiritual dirt and the rosemary repairs confusion. It carries away dark marks, harmful words, heaviness, and any imprint clinging to your head. Speak with authority. My head is lifted, my mind restored, my glory untouchable, my crown covered, breaking every silent agreement darkness tried to build. As you massage the mixture into your scalp, every chain melts, every confusion loses strength, every monitoring spirit loses grip, heaviness dissolves, and God repairs the gates of your mind, resetting your covering and healing old wounds. Finally, lift your right hand and declare, every attack aimed at my crown breaks and returns to its sender. Every dark work tied to my head dissolves. Every spirit monitoring me loses power. Now my crown is sanctified, my mind renewed, and my glory guarded, completing the cleansing and sealing your breakthrough. Now your crown has been purified and your gates restored. You must not return to neglecting your spiritual well-being, because your head is the seat of wisdom and must be protected through prayer and awareness. Your sensitivity will grow and your spiritual radar will sharpen. Whenever heaviness tries to return, watch your dreams, your emotions, and your thoughts, because the enemy fights hardest after breakthrough. Keep your prayer life active and your crown spiritually covered. Share this understanding with someone else, because many are fighting silent battles over their head, waking up tired, confused, and spiritually heavy without realizing their crown has been targeted. Sharing this may protect someone's destiny. Stay connected to teachings that support breakthrough, because your restored crown will hunger for wisdom, clarity, and direction. Keep learning and growing, and remember this truth: your head belongs to God, your mind belongs to clarity, and your crown belongs to glory. And if this message has opened your eyes or lifted your spirit, share it and continue your journey, because your crown will shine brighter from this day onward. Walk with confidence, knowing your crown is clean, your mind is clear, and your glory is restored. No attack will sit on your head again, and every projection sent against your path will fail instantly. Your head is protected, your way is open, and as you move forward, keep in mind that spiritual hygiene is just as important as prayer. Prayer unlocks the door, but cleansing is what prepares the place, so God's presence can settle without obstacles. Your cleansed head becomes a seat for wisdom and a light for divine direction. The heaviness that once clouded your thinking has been replaced by a higher lightness, allowing your thoughts to rise into clarity and purpose. The confusion that once tangled your decisions has been cleared away by the combined work of salt and rosemary, leaving your mind a fertile ground for divine ideas and clear strategies. Always remember that the enemy looks for an entry point, and a neglected crown becomes an open doorway for spiritual disturbance. But you are no longer unaware. You now carry knowledge and are strengthened by a divine method that has broken chains for countless generations. This is part of your spiritual heritage, to walk alert and keep the purity of your crown. Let this practice remain a regular part of your spiritual routine, especially during seasons of intense pressure or whenever you sense the subtle return of spiritual signals. It is easier to maintain freedom than to reclaim it after loss. A guarded crown protects a life that carries unblemished purpose. The peace you feel now is not temporary, but spiritual proof of obedience to divine principles. Guard this peace carefully, for it is the evidence of a life disconnected from harmful influences and reconnected to God's frequency. Your dreams will grow clearer, your vision sharper, and your steps more secure, because the center of your identity has been restored to its true design. The spiritual noise that once blocked heavenly guidance has been removed, and now you can hear God with fresh clarity. Your destiny, which once seemed delayed, will now move forward, because the hidden hands holding it back have been cut off. You are stepping into a season of faster progress and clear breakthroughs, all because you took authority over the gate of your life. From this moment on, wear your crown with dignity. Walk with the confidence of restored glory, and never again allow the enemy to touch what God has purified. This is your new beginning, a life full of clarity, purpose, and unstoppable spiritual movement. Your spiritual senses are now sharpened to notice the subtle schemes once hidden from your understanding. The clarity you experience is not just the absence of confusion, but the active presence of divine order guiding your thoughts and directing your steps. Your mind, once a place of conflicting voices and heavy pressure, has become a sanctuary of peace and a command center for heavenly strategies. The enemy's repeated attempts to reach your life through your crown have been blocked by a divine barrier, a spiritual shield built through your obedience and practice of God's wisdom. This is the power of walking in revelation. You are no longer reacting to attacks, you are preventing them. Your hair, once a target for dark intentions and jealousy, is now a sign of your spiritual authority and a symbol of your restored identity. Every strand reflects the sanctifying power of God and reminds you that you are set apart and protected from all forms of spiritual contamination. The heaviness that once followed you like a shadow has been replaced by a deep lightness, lifting your spirit and sharpening your discernment. Your prayers now carry greater strength, your faith deeper stability, and your vision stronger clarity. This is the result of a cleansed crown, a life where divine inspiration flows without blockage, and your God-given potential moves freely. The cycles of delay and frustration are broken not by your strength, but by applying spiritual truth. You have stepped into a form of warfare that goes beyond the physical, using tools designed by God for this time. Let your life reflect this truth. Share your experience with those still carrying unseen burdens, because your story can help set them free. Teach them the importance of guarding their crown and keeping their spiritual gates clean. As you continue your journey, remember that maintaining spiritual order is your responsibility. Or before stepping into important endeavors, your crown is your glory, the seat of your authority, and the gateway to your destiny. Guard it with care, cover it with prayer, and purify it with the authority God has given you. Move forward from this place with your head held high, not in pride, but in the confident assurance that your crown is clean, your mind is clear, and your destiny is secure. No weapon formed against your head will succeed, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you will condemn. This is your inheritance as a child of God, to live in freedom, to walk in clarity, and to reign in life through Jesus Christ. Your path is now lit, your steps are guided, and your glory restored. Go forth and shine, for the light upon your head has been ignited, and it will lead you into all that God has prepared for you. And so the journey continues, with each new day bringing an opportunity to strengthen the freedom you have gained. The spiritual clarity you now hold is not temporary, but a lasting foundation on which you can build a life of purpose and unshakable peace. Your mind, freed from the oppressive forces that tried to cloud your judgment, is now a vessel of divine insight, capable of receiving and executing God's perfect plan with precision and grace. The enemy's strategies, once able to cause confusion and delay, are now powerless against the fortified gate of your head, which you have purified and consecrated through obedience and faith. This is the heart of spiritual warfare, not just defending against attacks, but advancing victoriously, carrying the light of truth into every area of your life. Your hair, once a point of vulnerability, is now a crown of strength, a daily reminder that you are protected by a power greater than any opposition. The practice you have embraced is more than a ritual. It is an act of spiritual stewardship, a declaration that every part of you belongs to God and is under His protection. As you continue, you will notice a heightened sensitivity to the Holy Spirit's guidance, an ability to distinguish the voice of truth from the whispers of deception. Your dreams will become spaces of revelation rather than conflict. Your thoughts will align with heaven's perspective, and your emotions will reflect the stability of a soul anchored in God's promises. This transformation testifies to the power of combining prayer with consistent spiritual discipline. You have not only prayed for deliverance but acted in faith, using the tools God has provided to enforce the victory already won on the cross. Let this be a lasting lesson. Your faith is both a shield and a sword, and God's provision for your wholeness covers the spiritual, physical, and emotional. Share this victory freely. Many struggle in silence, unaware of the battle over their minds and destinies. Your testimony can spark a chain reaction of freedom as others learn to reclaim their crowns and walk in the liberty that is theirs by birthright. Remain steadfast in this truth, vigilant in your practice, and generous in your sharing. Your head is covered, your path is clear, and your future is bright. The same power that cleanses your crown will continue to guide and guard you, ensuring each step is firm and every decision wise. Walk in this confidence and let your life be a living testimony of the freedom that comes from a spiritually cleansed, God-honoring life. Recognize that this newfound liberation is both a permanent possession and a daily practice. The victory over spiritual attacks on your crown is not a single event, but the beginning of a lifelong stance of vigilance and authority. Your mind, now cleansed and sanctified, will attract divine ideas, godly strategies, and heavenly plans that were previously hidden by spiritual fog. Though the enemy is persistent, your consistent application of these spiritual truths builds a wall of fire around your head that no darkness can penetrate. Remember, the goal is not only to break a cycle, but to establish a new one, a cycle of growing clarity, advancing purpose, and undeniable favor. Your hair, once a channel for negative projections, now serves as an antenna for divine frequency, drawing blessings, wisdom, and opportunities from heaven. The simple act of washing with intention recalibrates your spiritual atmosphere, aligning your personal domain with the order of heaven. This alignment will show itself in unexpected ways: sudden solutions to long-standing problems, divine connections with people carrying your answers, and doors opening before you. This is the practical outcome of a spiritually cleansed crown. Let your life be a living example of this principle. Do not keep this knowledge to yourself, for the body of Christ needs practical keys to freedom. Your testimony can break generational strongholds in the lives of others. As you share, you are not merely passing information, but releasing spiritual tools that can dismantle evil influences and silence opposing voices assigned to block destinies. Stay committed to this spiritual discipline. In maintaining your freedom, you expand it. Each time you cleanse your crown, you reaffirm your covenant with God and reject every claim the enemy tries to place on your life. Your confidence will grow, your authority will strengthen, and your spiritual discernment will sharpen so you can perceive attacks before they arise and neutralize them in the spirit. Walk in this reality. Your head is no longer a target, it is a throne. Your mind is no longer a battlefield, it is a holy of holies. Your destiny is no longer restrained, it is moving into its full expression. The chains are broken, the gates secured, and the path ahead shines brighter until the full day of your purpose arrives. Go forward not as a victim, but as a victor, carrying the anointing of a cleansed crown and the authority to guard the gates of your life. Step into this new realm of spiritual authority, where every move is guided by divine assurance and every decision by heavenly wisdom. The freedom you now hold is not fragile, but a powerful position from which to govern your life and influence your world. The clarity in your mind is permanent, evicting old tenets of confusion and doubt. This comes from reclaiming your crown, fortifying your head gate, and realigning your destiny with its God-given design. The enemy's whispers, once loud and convincing, now sound distant and meaningless, unable to gain footing in a mind washed clean and dedicated to truth. Your spiritual senses, once dulled by prior attacks, are now sharp, enabling you to discern between good and God's perfect best. This heightened awareness will guide you away from deception toward paths of lasting fulfillment. The practice you have embraced is your spiritual maintenance, a non-negotiable discipline ensuring the enemy never regains access. It declares that you are a steward of God's glory on your life and will not tolerate contamination. As you continue, this act of faith, washing with sea salt and rosemary, becomes a powerful sacrament, a physical expression of a spiritual reality. It partners with heaven in enforcing victory. Jesus has already won. Let this truth sink deep. You are not just defending, you are occupying a place the enemy fears. Your cleansed crown is a light in the spiritual realm, announcing your protection under a covenant that cannot be broken. From now on, your progress will not be hindered by unseen forces. Your thoughts will remain clear, your emotions unshaken. You have reclaimed your mind and will cultivate it to produce peace, creativity, and divine purpose. Share this victory boldly. Your story can unlock doors for those still bound, unaware of the spiritual battle over their lives. You have been given not just a message, but a ministry of liberation, a call to help others cleanse their crowns and reclaim God-given authority. Walk in this calling with courage and compassion. Stay steadfast in practice, rooted in prayer, and open to the Holy Spirit's guidance. Your head is covered, your mind renewed, your destiny secure. Go forth and shine, for the world awaits the emergence of people who know who they are and whose they are, people with cleansed crowns and glorious destinies.